Welcome back, my friends, and now let's talk about something interesting here. We have a lot of different things we can do inside Cinema 4D. As you can see, we have a bunch of objects in this section. We have another set of objects in this other region, and we have more and more information, more and more objects, and just, I mean, it's amazing. Cinema 4D has a lot of things that we can do. Now I want to show you some of these. Obviously, we have a devoted session just to some of these effects, and we could spend here hours and hours talking about every single one of them. But for now, let's just take a look at this one called the cloner. So I'm gonna press here, cloner. You can see that I have this guy in here. I have a couple of palm trees that we created in our previous class. So I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna add them to a new layer. So I'm gonna create a new layer, and they're gonna go to this kind of pinky. So I'm just gonna paint them all, and they're gonna go like that. I'm going to take the sun, and the sun is going to go to a layer that I believe is this one. No, this is the one with the palm trees. No, I don't want them. I don't want it in this one. I want it in that one. And then the floor is going to go again to this one. And now I can go to my layers and I can hide this. All right. And I will just keep these guys. Now probably I will hide the lights as well so that we can keep just our palm trees. And now I'm going to hide this other ones because I just want to stay with one. I don't want to confuse you. So I'm going to take this palm tree, I'm going to go back to attributes, and then in here, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do is set these coordinates to 0 in the X, and then 0 to Z. All right, and we have this rotation value right now, but don't worry about my handle. What we are going to do is take this palm and I'm going to place it inside the cloner. Now you can see what happens here. Once I start using the cloner, I'm going to get out of my camera. You can see that we have a couple of objects. Now these objects are not well oriented, and if I take my palm and I start rotating this palm, you can see that nothing is happening, nothing is moving. It doesn't matter what I do, they don't move because we have a separate structure for the coordinates inside the cloner. Now I'm going to take the cloner, and now this cloner has these properties where I can go and say object. And the first one I need to use is this one called reset coordinates. I don't want to reset the coordinates. I want to use the coordinates that I already have on my original object. So in this case, I will remove this option. And now you can see how all the palm trees are kind of just getting in place. Now, by the way, you can navigate using these buttons in here. You can use that. You can get farther away with this one, and then you can rotate your camera with this. If you want to just, if you are close to this area, well, you can do that. And that's what I'm doing right now instead of using my Alt button. But I don't teach you that because I want you to use the other method. Like I said, we need to use our shortcuts, but well, that's why we have these buttons in here. Now you can see that we have this cloner, and the cloner actually creates clones of the object that we put inside this cloner. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to go to object, and you can see that right now I'm using this grid array. I'm going to take that and I'm going to change it to linear, and now you can see that I have a line of objects. I can change that to radial, and now I get that. And now I can change it to something like grid array and honeycomb, right? So kind of really cool stuff going on. Now you can use the radial, for example, with this type of object. And now the thing is that if you rotate this, you can see that it kind of looks pretty cool in this case for this kind of a tree. Now we can use this in different methods. For example, let's say that you have a tree, but that tree has the part in the center, and if we don't have that curvature, we could use that, just a palm tree straight, and that will be just at the center, and then we will have all of that, and that could work for a different type of effect. And we use it, for example, in video games. A lot of times we use this kind of thing for bushes and trees, and even a lot of different effects. But for now, just keep that in mind. I'm going to take this, and you can see here that I am in mode radial, and I can increase the count of the copies. So I can create 12 or 20, doesn't really matter. And then I have the radius, and the radius can go, and once I start using this, you can see that the radius increases, and now I have palm trees all around this object, and I can increase that if I want to, and I can keep increasing my values for the radius. Now you can see that there's a start angle where I can just move and rotate my copies. There's an end angle where I can just reduce, and they are gonna go like that. I'm gonna go a little bit farther away so you can see what's going on here. And you can see how I can start moving and tweaking these values and get them in different positions. So you have a lot of different type of flexibility to do a lot of different things. You have the offset variation, so some of them are going to be in one place, some of them are going to be in another place, and that is pretty cool. Now there is the plane. You can change it, and now they can go in a different plane. You can do it like that, and you can align them or not, and in this case you can see that that's what we will be probably using. And if we make our layers visible again, well, at least just take these guys and make them visible. I'm just going to take that camera. I don't want the camera visible, but you can see that now we have a couple of palm trees. And now the cool thing about this is that we can take the cloner. Now the cloner is only one object, and I can manipulate it. And if I want to increase the values of that, I can get more or less. And I'm just going to get a lot of different objects like this. And if I want to, I can just go to the top view, and let's see, where is our object? It's right in here. Okay, and now what we can do is take our move tool, and I can move these objects and put them like that. For example, I can just use this, and you can see how I am moving that. And I am not actually moving the cloner, but I am just expanding the position of all of the objects, and that's some sort of cool thing that we can do in order to, you know, improve and get different results from this view. And now this is what we get. Now the cloner is really powerful. I mean, right now we're using Radial, but if we change that to grid, for example, we're going to get that type of result. We're going to go like that, and if I get closer, you can see that we have a couple of copies in here. I can increase the distance between them, just like that. And in Y, well, right now there's no point of doing that, because if I do that in Y, I'm going to be creating palm trees that are going to go in that direction. But I can, you know, move them a little bit like that, increase the value here, 4, 3, and 4, 4, and then I can, you know, just keep working with these other values, and and point. We will have size where we can, you know, expand this, and the copies, the instance. What else can we do in here? Transform. Really, right now what we want is just get these ones in here in place, but I mean, you can still move and manipulate the position of this, change a little bit the rotation of some of them, and make them, you know, look a little bit different. We have effectors that, well, we will talk about that later on, because right now I just want you to get a basic idea of what can you do with this. So in this case, that's the kind of effect that we were using. We can move them and pull them a little bit in this region. I think I like this, and let's try to see a render of this. And actually it looks kind of cool. I think there's a lot of palm trees right now, and you can see that there's a lot of copies in this section. So it will be nice to keep removing some of them. But for now, you have an idea of how you can use the cloner in order to get different results. You can decrease that count and just stay with something like that. But not actually, you know what? I like the ones here on the front. And maybe this kind of look nice. I don't know. Let's try that. And yeah, they look very repetitive, some of them, but you have the idea. You can start playing with this and try to see and make them fit if you want to. And let's see, maybe I will put them like this, and I can move my camera, or I can increase the actual radius of this, and I can expand them like that. And if I want, I can decrease or increase this. I just want to have something. I like this guy here because gives me something here on the foreground, and it looks kind of interesting. But I just want to have one in there. Not like this. Maybe, I don't know, we can keep playing with the offset and see maybe this, you know, you get the idea of what can be done with this. So it looks pretty cool. Now, what else can we do with this? I'm going to show you another effect, but I will do it in our next class. For now, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.